Hello, good afternoon. I'm Joseph Johnson and this is Nationwide, reaching you live on the network service of the NTA. Glad you could join us. The federal government is reassuring Nigerians that it will neither abdicate its responsibility nor fail to provide them an atmosphere devoid of security threats and criminality for a stable and prosperous future. President Muhammadu Buhari, who stated this while launching this year's Armed Forces Remembrance Day Emblem Appeal Fund with 10 million naira, emphasizes that peace and security of Nigeria is non-negotiable. State House correspondent Adam Sambo has details.
Thank you very much.
The launch of the Armed Forces Remembrance Day Emblem Appeal Fund is meant to not only give a befitting honor to the gallant officers and men who paid the supreme sacrifice to keep Nigeria united, but also provide and cater for their dependents, as well as those who survived with varying degrees of incapacitation. President Muhammadu Buhari said, more than anything else, the day must serve as a reminder of the need to jealously guard the unity of the country, which was won at a great cost.
We would like to commend and reinforce our gratitude to our men and women in the armed forces who have risen to the challenge of securing our nation and providing the enabling environment for national progress. The peace and security of Nigeria is non-negotiable, and the security agencies must continue to do their work diligently.
The federal government, he said, will remain steadfast in developing alliances with the international community, as well as providing necessary logistical support towards ensuring that the armed forces operate with the best modern warfare equipment towards totally defeating Boko Haram.
The task of resettling and rehabilitating our citizens, as well as the reconstruction of territories affected by the war, will continue to be one of our priorities of this administration. We shall not rest until all our displaced persons are safely resettled within their communities without fear of further attacks.
The president directed service leaders to take urgent steps towards the settlement of entitlements of their troops, as well as welfare packages designed for their dependents, saying families of fallen heroes must not suffer the loss of their loved ones or deprived of their due benefits.
Government agencies at the federal and state levels should continue to patronize the services of the Nigerian Legion in the provision of security services. The potentials of our ex-servicemen are enormous, and the economy can tap into this for national development. I wish to call on all Nigerians and others residents in Nigeria to procure and wear the emblems with pride.
Defense Minister Bashir Magashi, who spoke in the same vein, called for generous donations in support of the nation's veterans and dependents of all fallen heroes.
I wish also to remind us that the national security, without doubt, is the business of every Nigerian. I therefore call on Nigerians to be more security conscious and to continue to accord due support and encouragement to the armed forces of Nigeria in the task of safeguarding the sovereignty and the territorial integrity of our country.
The Armed Forces Remembrance Day, organizers say, calls to mind the negative impact of strife and conflicts, and therefore demands that responsible citizens must at all times avoid actions that emphasize their differences. As President Muhammadu Buhari maintains, the strength of Nigeria lies in her diversity. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the security situation in the Federal Capital Territory will soon be a thing of the past, with the identification of all flashpoints by the police and the FCT administration. FCT Police Commissioner Bala Chiroma made the statement while discussing security situation in the FCT.
There is synergy between the security agencies, and we've mobilized and also deployed into these particular locations to ensure that we checkmate their activities. This is not going to be a lasting future within FCT. We will not accept this particular type of crime within FCT. All arrangements are being made, all hands are on deck, and that is what one of the things that we discussed in the Senate President's office.
On its part, the FCT administration says it is working with all the relevant security agencies to ensure the safety of lives and property. And as the federal government sustains efforts to counter insecurity in Nigeria, the need for nations of the world to collaborate in combating crime and terrorism has again been stressed. The Akwa Ibom State Governor Udom Emmanuel emphasized this when he played host to the foreign defense attaches and staff members of the Defense Intelligence Agency in Government House, Uyo. Susan Asuko reports.
Terrorism, cybercrime and other criminal activities have in recent time become a source of concern to almost all the countries of the world, including Nigeria. The federal government of Nigeria, for instance, has invested so much financially to ensure that terrorism and other crimes are reduced to the barest minimum. Akwa Ibom State Governor Udom Emmanuel, who understands the importance of security to the socio-economic development of the state while addressing foreign defense attaches and staff members of the Defense Intelligence Agency in Government House, Uyo, noted that Nigeria plays a greater role as far as Africa is concerned. Governor Emmanuel maintained that when the Nigerian territory is secure, other countries around the region will be safe. He called on leaders to make security their first social contract with the people.
The world today is a global space where we say there's free movement of capital. The same way, there's also free movement of challenges, not just capital. We're all challenged everywhere. Crime is everywhere. There's no nation today that is not facing one criminal activity or the other. But those things you can never take out. But how you fight them, how you control them, how you also not allow them to affect your economic development and also other social development is actually what that will make you be a winner. We are here following the wonderful success stories that are emanating from your state, and those stories informed the choice of Akwa Ibom State over the 36 states and the federal capital of Nigeria.
The foreign defense attaches are in the state on a cultural visit. Susan Asukwa, NTA News.
The need for effective management of Nigeria's territorial border for elimination of trans-border crimes formed the thrust of a one-day sensitization workshop on national border management strategy held in Owerri, Imo State. Kingsley Ononihu reports that this event was organized by the Nigerian Immigration Service in conjunction with the International Organization for Migration.
The sensitization workshop is aimed at drawing the attention of Nigerians on the need to partner the Nigerian Immigration Service and other law enforcement agencies for effective protection of the nation's air, land, and sea borders. Chief of Mission, International Organization for Migration, Nigeria, France Celestine, represented by the National Program Officer, Okamako Sigwe, says partnership of International Organization for Migration has resulted in reduction of cross-border crimes.
This partnership shared with NIS is exemplified across various sectors in which we work together.
The Controller General Nigerian Immigration Service, Mohammed Babandede, represented by the Assistant Controller General Funke Adeniyi, called for more collaborative efforts in addressing the nation's security challenges. She also presented a book, Nigerian Immigration Service National Border Management Strategy.
The benefit of this document is to set out renewed goals and vision that the Nigerian Immigration Service intends to deploy between now and 2023 in the proper management of our borders.
Other participants at the event noted that issues of border management should be taken seriously in the interest of national security. In Owerri, Kingsley Ononihu, NTA News.
To the judiciary now, the legal system in Nigeria is such that encourages freedom of expression and fair hearing as part of the bundle of rights under Chapter 4 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. Now, these and other rights are protected by the courts. In this report, Dele Atumbe takes a look at the implications of comments on matters pending before the court of competent jurisdiction.
Section 6 of the 1999 Constitution establishes the courts and vested the judicial powers in them. Litigants in either civil or criminal matters are by these and other sections of the Constitution encouraged to approach the court for redress on any infringement or to avert an infringement. These sections of the Constitution also guaranteed the independence of the judiciary as an arm of government. With the judicial powers vested in the courts, matters before them are expected to be adjudicated upon and determined with the law as it is. While a matter lies within the court of competent jurisdiction, fair comments may be entertained, but unfair comments are not expected, as these could be sub judice. When a matter is before the court, reference to it does not, by the mere fact, make it an offense. A matter is believed to be sub judice if it is still being discussed in a court of law, and it is therefore illegal for anyone to talk about the material facts on the television or in the newspapers, as this could lead to contempt of the court.
Call is sub judice, and it is contempt of court, that the person can be punished for a term of imprisonment or fine. But the most dangerous aspect of it is that it can create a lot of crises that people will not even be able to manage because of the lie it tells against itself. A matter that is in court that has not been decided, you are not a judge, and you have no right to comment on the issue that is yet to be decided by a court of law.
You are said to be interfering with a matter that is sub judice. So, for instance, matter is in court, and I'm out there saying by the weight of evidence, this man is going to win, or blah, blah, blah. Then at that point, you are trying to get the public against a likely decision of a court that may not be as you've been telling the public. At that point, you're trying to bring the court into odium. You're trying to place the court under some kind of weight that is not proper. And that's why when matters are before the court, when matters is sub judice, people are supposed to back off from it and not comment.
Under the law, content of court can be categorized into three. While the first content may be in form of scandalizing the court itself, there may be content in form of abusing parties who are involved in litigation, as well as prejudicing the courts before a matter is heard.
Much as we are permitted, or members of the public are permitted to make, the word is fair comments about proceedings that are sub judice, fair comments. They are prohibited from making statements that are preemptive, statements that will tend to swing the judgment one way or the other.
This is the paper we filed on 9th or on 12th October 2019. Now, we tried to serve them on Saturday. They locked them in their offices. Only God knows whether it is intentional or not. We couldn't serve them. These are the people who are saying that there is delay and so on. You are locking up your office so that you are not served. You are doing this, and you'll be the same person to go on air and criticize everything on that you yourself know is not right. I mean, forget about political parties. Your own country first.
The legal practitioner stamped any comment capable of putting the court in public ridicule on any matter before it as sub judice. In Abuja, Dele Atumbe, NTA News.
Meanwhile, an Abuja resident, Mariam Sanda, who is alleged to be involved in the death of her husband, Liam Aminu Bello, has denied culpability in the death of the deceased. The defendant is facing a 2-count charge bordering on murder before an FCTI court sitting in Abuja. Olabode Arewa reports.
The trial of Mariam Sanda for the alleged murder of her husband, Aminu Bello, in the Awuse Abuja home on the 19th of November 2017 continued, with the defendant opening and closing her defense. Miriam Sanda, during cross-examination by the prosecution counsel, Adama Musa, said a nude female picture allegedly found in her husband's handsets led to their disagreements. In the process, Miriam alleged that Biliamino tripped and fell on a bottle, which broke and pierced him on the chest. The prosecution counsel tendered several exhibits, including her witness statements at the Maitama police station after the incident. In the statement read in the open court, she had allegedly admitted breaking the bottle in anger following her claim that Biliamino molested her. Though she alleged that their 2-year marriage had not been peaceful, she denied killing her husband. During the trial, the prosecution and the defense teams called 6 witnesses: her mother, Memunatu, her brother Aliu, and her housemate Sadia were accused of conspiracy in the case.
Joseph, just give us a statement, please. No, there's no need.
Miriam Sanders' alleged action is contrary to Section 221 of the Penal Code.
The court, having heard the evidence from other parties in the matter, fixed the 25th of November for the final written addresses by the defense and the prosecution team in Abuja on Labo Darewa. NTA News.
Time to join Jennifer in Lagos for more reports. Jennifer.
Thank you, Joseph, and welcome to Lagos. The Pakistan government is strengthening its bilateral relations with Nigeria on defense and security by supporting the Nigerian Air Force to enhance its airlift capability and logistics effectiveness in its quest to fight insurgency and terrorism. The Pakistan Chief of Air Staff, Air Chief Marshal Majuhid Anwar Khan, made this known on inspection of C-130-913 Nigerian aircraft in Lagos. Adiola Omokive completes the report.
On arrival at the 631 Aircraft Maintenance Depot Ikeja, the Pakistan Air Chief Marshal was taken through the inspection flowchart and progress of the Nigerian Air Force C-130 aircraft 913 undergoing refurbishment. The Pakistan Chief of Air Staff, Anwar Khan, reiterated that Nigerian Air Force will be empowered to effectively tackle insecurity, stating that the C-130 Air Mobility Transport Command remains the backbone of any Air Force.
It has to be strengthened. And likewise, we are here that we are doing the overall for Nigerian Air Force so that your C-130 comes up in time. So that apart from their obligations that they were supposed to do, they have taken more initiatives to rectify some of your other aircraft also and some of your equipment also. I'm really glad that my men are taking such kind of initiatives.
The Nigerian Air Force having benefited from the years of collaboration with Pakistan Air Force to improve capability of its personnel, say,
the relationship between Nigerian Air Force and Pakistani Air Force has been a long one. They have been there for us, they have been assisting us.
But what is special about the ongoing PDM is that we are also building capacity of our engineers and technicians.
With this collaboration, it is expected that the Nigerian Air Force personnel will in due course render same assistance to other countries during their in-country periodic depot maintenance. In Lagos, Adeola Omokive, NTA News.
From security, we go to environment. Now, transforming electronic waste to wealth, effectively structuring the informal sector, and adequate education are key to the sound management of e-waste in Nigeria. These formed the thrust of a deliberation at a one-day event in Lagos. Mobile phones, computers, refrigerators, and other electronics and electrical devices become obsolete so fast. And as this happens, the amount of e-waste in Nigeria and the world at large keeps growing. A United Nations Environment Programme report shows that the world produces 50 million tons of electronic waste yearly, weighing more than all commercial airliners ever made. Interestingly, only 20% of this is formally recycled.
We have a project currently in collaboration with the Global Environmental Facility, and it is supported by United Nations Environmental Programme. So it is a program in which we hope to come up with a model in which this EOS can be treated.
Stakeholders at this event say improper management of discarded electronics and electrical devices is causing health hazards, significant loss of scarce and valuable materials, including environmental pollution.
They contain dangerous chemicals, heavy metals like lead, mercury, cadmium, which are poisonous to human health.
Products that we use, such as gold, I mean, imagine that, gold, silver, palladium, other precious materials such as neodymium are within electronic waste.
Management of e-waste is also crucial to the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals. Now, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says Lagos will not renege on its promise to pay above 30,000 naira minimum wage to the workers, considering the special status of the state. Sanwo-Olu reiterated this while hosting members of the Lagos State Public Service Joint Negotiating Council, the Nigerian Labour Congress, and the Trade Union Congress. Jesuto Moses reports.
This assurance is coming just as the governor sued for continued harmonious and peaceful relationship between the government and labor unions in the state. Sanwo-Olu promised to look into labor's request for relevant training to improve their skills.
Not because we want to compete unnecessarily with anybody, but because we realize and will appreciate, the place Lagos, takes in this country.
Chairman, Lagos State Public Service Joint Negotiating Council, Razak Falade, commended Sanwo-Olu for making the welfare of workers a priority.
He made a request, a formal request to Your Excellency to help us appoint a special advisor to His Excellency on labor matters.
Earlier, in a separate interaction, NLC Chairperson Lagos Council Fumi Sesi and TUC Chairman Lagos Council Bengai Kundayo had requested for improved welfare package for workers, which included insurance policy, local and international training, free social services for senior citizens, and operational bases for affiliate members of the union for easy mobility.
The bulk of the issue is on the grade levels 7 to 17. Which is where we're talking about the consequential adjustment and relativity.
The union leaders assured governments of their support for a greater Lagos. Jesuto Moses, NTA News.
That's a contribution from Lagos. Nationwide continues after the break. Stay with us.
Foundation Nigeria and partners present the 3rd Annual Africa Women Conference AWC 2019, a gathering of experts, institutions, corporate organizations, and individuals promoting the growth, stability, and development of African women, exploring viable options through which various resources available to African women can be channeled towards the sustainable development of the continent. Expected participants include wives of African heads of government, female parliamentarians, public office holders, entrepreneurs, and sustainable development partners. Theme: building a coalition to end gender inequality in Africa. Date 21st to 23rd November 2019. Venue: Kenzi Manara Palace, Marrakesh, Morocco. Chairperson of the occasion: Dr. Mrs. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, First Lady, Federal Republic of Nigeria. For participation and inquiries, visit www.africa-womenconference.org or call +234 806 5388 424. AWC, building an Africa where every woman's potential is fully harnessed. Powered by Helpline Foundation Nigeria, Echoes Africa Initiatives New York, International Center for Diplomacy, Morocco.
Let's come together as we celebrate the uniqueness of our cultural diversity, showcase our creativity and ingenuity. It's the National Festival for Arts and Culture, NAFEST 2019, in the ancient city of Benin, Edo State, the heartbeat of the nation. Theme: our reality, our pride. Holding 19th through 26th October 2019. Highlights will include drama, children poetry performance, essay writing competition, crafts competition, indigenous cuisine, traditional wrestling, indigenous fabrics in royal apparel, cultural quiz competition, board games, and lots more. Oh yes, it's the National Festival of Arts and Culture, NAFEST 2019, Edo State, Nigeria, holding 19th to 26th October 2019. We are celebrating our heritage. Otumba Olusegun Runshiwe, Director General, National Council for Arts and Culture, announcer.
From the creeks of the Niger Delta to the Atlantic Ocean, inland waters and beyond, activities of some unpatriotic Nigerians and criminals are, however, harming Nigeria and Nigerians. Say no to crude oil theft, pipeline vandalism, and illegal oil refineries. These criminal acts destroy the environment, kill maritime life, destroy the livelihood of farmers, fishermen, and reduce Nigeria's economy by billions of naira. Nigerian Navy patrols are working round the clock to secure Nigeria's maritime integrity. Support the Navy and say no to acts that destroy our collective resources. Stop these criminal acts. Blow the whistle. The long arm of the law will surely catch up with culprits. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Navy. Onward together.
The new edition of TV Guide is out, exclusively taking a look at the traditional television and new media. Are they comparable or complementary? Media industry players give perspective on the trends, progress, challenges, and the way forward. Find out on this compelling edition of TV Guide. Expository interviews with stars of the team within our space. Eki Madojemo of NTA, Utibe Umore of AIT, Nifemi Oguntai of TVC, and a host of others. TV Guide, your indispensable companion. Also feature Iya Medina.
I'm the CEO, managing director of Iya Medina Sister Restaurant. I choose to serve. Shut up your mouth. Let me finish.
A TV drama series on NTA. Let's get to meet the characters behind Iya Medina. This edition also presents exciting features on tourism, culture, entertainment, sports, health, and lots more. Grab a copy at the vendors near you or any NTA station nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
Still watching NTA Nationwide, and we are back in Abuja. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved for immediate implementation additional cost-saving measures aimed at instilling financial discipline and prudence, particularly in the area of official travels, in a bid to curb leakages and ensure efficiency in the management of resources of government. A statement by Director Information Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Willie Bassi, indicates that henceforth, all ministries, departments and agencies, MDAs, are required to submit their yearly travel plans for statutory meetings and engagements to the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation and or the Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation for express clearance within the first quarter of the fiscal year before implementation. The President also approved that ministers, permanent secretaries, special advisors, senior special assistants to the President, chairmen of extra ministerial departments and chief executive officers of parastatals who are entitled to continue to fly business class, while other categories of public officers are to travel on economy class. Meanwhile, travel days will no longer attract payment of Esther Code allowances, as duration of official trips shall be limited to only the number of days of the event as contained in the supporting documents to qualify for public funding. The statement notes that the Auditor General of the Federation has been directed to treat all expenditures that contravene these guidelines as ineligible. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, has advised the general public to beware of fraudsters who use his designation and office to defraud unsuspecting Nigerians. In a statement, Boss Mustafa said his attention has been drawn to unrelenting activities of faceless persons using the social media and other platforms to lure unsuspecting members of the public to submit their curriculum vitae at a fee to a non-existing desk at the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation for federal government appointments. Similarly, inaccurate information is being peddled about constituency projects being executed under his office, while numerous forged introductory letters purportedly issued from his office seeking diverse favors from individuals and corporate entities for personal gains are in circulation. Boss Mustafa notes that for the avoidance of doubt, his office neither executes nor supervises constituency projects, and that measures have been taken to track these imposters and bring them to justice. Now, experts have advised the National Assembly to actualize timely passage of the 2020 appropriation bill while commending President Muhammadu Buhari for the bold steps taken to grow the nation's economy. They also expect the executive arm of government to strive towards remarkable improvements in the implementation of the budget. These are some opinions expressed on NTS program Tuesday Live. Onengiye Fine Face has the excerpts.
Accelerating pace of the country's economy, promoting economic recovery, enhancing competitiveness and ensuring social inclusion are key targets of the 2020 budget presented by President Muhammadu Buhari. In considering the gains and prospects of the budget, panelists on NTA's Tuesday Live were particular about some components of the proposal, such as debt servicing, 7% value-added tax and exclusions made therein, as well as revenue generation opportunities.
Right now, we are wasting so much money in importation of things that we can actually produce. So we, just to say to what Professor said, our problem is not just debt to GDP ratio, our problem is debt to earnings. So to help our earnings, we have to help local production.
Particularly of social services. I think they are people-centered and they will go a long way in facilitating the attainment of Mr. President's objective of lifting 100 million people out of poverty in the next 10 years.
Border closure was a recurrent issue for panelists who shared the opinion that it is a bold step already producing results with reported drop in petroleum imports from 61 million litres per day to 50 million litres per day and constant increase in revenues from customs and excise duties.
Now, all of these firms that have been illegally smuggling their goods, whether it's technological goods, pharmaceuticals, food items, etc., they're now being forced to come through our ports and go through the legal process and pay their taxes and duties, and now we're seeing a rise in revenue.
They expect state governments to also adopt the January-December budget life cycle and other positives in the proposal presented by Mr. President to the National Assembly. Onengiye Fine Face, NT News.
Meanwhile, the House Committee on Power is taking a holistic measure to address the epileptic power supply in Nigeria. Strategies to adopt range from tapping other alternative power sources to efficient distribution of ready-generated electricity. These were some of the issues that dominated discussions at the inaugural meeting of the committee. The committee also resolved to work towards improving power generation in the country to 10,000 megawatts before the end of the 9th Assembly. This, the committee says, is paramount for industrialization, which is the backbone of development in Nigeria. To achieve this, the chairman of the committee, Magaji Aliyu, called on members of the committee to exhibit hard work and passion towards achieving this constitutional mandate to ensure that power is also made available to all Nigerians.
Among other things, to make laws for good governance of the country, and more importantly, to carry out comprehensive oversight on the MDS under the Committee of Power.
We need to set a target for us in terms of electricity generation, transmission and distribution.
Next on our lineup is Dipabari in Port Harcourt. Hello, Dipabari.
Thank you, Joseph, and welcome to Port Harcourt. River State Governor Nyesom Wike has charged the board members of the State Road Maintenance Agency to ensure that all roads are made motorable. The governor was speaking while inaugurating the new board of the State Road Maintenance Agency. Ogedinyekwe completes the report.
Governor Wike noted that the agency is the direct labor arm of the River State government, targeted at ensuring that the roads don't degenerate. The governor emphasized that the agency has no powers to award contracts and advised the board to deliver speedily on its mandate.
Take history back. You know that this agency members have never lasted. Why? Because when you go there, you start quarreling, sharing money. And when you share money, it will leak. So when you are sharing, some people say, oh, that's the cabal. The cabal that are made up of the chairman and 3 others. I will not hesitate to just dissolve. I will not even give you notice. We must work as a team to achieve results.
Chairman of the board, Prince Timothy Insirim, promised that the board will take proactive measures to ensure the roads in the state are made motorable.
Immediately we leave here, we are going to take proactive action. We will go into our board meeting, we discuss and map out modalities on how to go about the job.
The board is to commence operations immediately. In Port Harcourt, Oge Dinyekwe, NTA News.
Ensure that Calabar maintains its scenic beauty and sustain free flow of traffic in the metropolis. The Cross River State Government is partnering a firm for the financing, construction and operation of its haulage city. Paul Abel reports that both parties signed a memorandum of understanding, paving way for the commencement of a feasibility study.
The Memorandum of Understanding between Baran Group and the Cross River State Government is a public-private partnership model which is being utilized by many African governments in order to sustain important developmental projects for the well-being of their people. The Holy City, a state-of-the-art modern parking center, intends to use technology to monitor and ease movement of thousands of trucks in and out of the city. While the state government says the move is a long-term strategic plan to secure the tourism status of Calabar in the post-deep sea port era.
It's a great opportunity for us to learn from the mistakes of other harbour cities and develop a new structure that will guarantee a perfect and modern harbour management systems.
We hope that we will be able to conclude this business and to commence construction as soon as possible and to see the results of this construction within less than 1
A team from the group will visit the state next month for due diligent work and subsequently present a report which will lead to the final investment decision. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
The Independent Corrupt Practices Commission (ICPC) is strengthening its capacity to check corruption practices and its ills in Nigeria. This is with the inauguration of National Anti-Corruption Volunteer Corps in Akwa Ibom State. Nsika Okon reports that the chairman of the commission, Professor Bolaji Owasoyen, urges the body to be the vanguard for the enthronement of good governance in the country.
Everyone agrees that Nigeria is rich both in human and material resources. It is also agreed that corruption is the main reason Nigeria is poor and backward. The National Anti-Volunteer Corps being inaugurated by the National Chairman ICPC in Akwa Ibom State, Professor Bolaji Owasanoyi, is a complementary approach aimed at supporting the anti-corruption agencies and reform programs of government in public procurement.
We must join hands with the government in the fight against corruption. If not, as the president used to say, if we do not kill corruption, corruption will kill us.
You must remain above board, as the Commission will not hesitate to prosecute any volunteer that commits any criminal offense.
SCPC has acknowledged the obvious fact that she may not be able to win the fight alone, given the huge challenge that corruption poses.
In Uyo, Nsika Okon, NTA News.
And as our contribution from Port Harcourt is back to Joseph in Abuja for the continuation of the news. Good evening.
Thank you, Diba Barry. The governors of the Southeast Geopolitical Zone and other prominent leaders in the zone have resolved to meet with President Muhammadu Buhari on issues bordering on the welfare of the zone. Chairman of the Forum and Governor of Ebonyi State, David Umahi, disclosed this after their meeting in Enugu. Susan Eze reports.
Present at the over 4 hours closed-door meeting were the chairman of the Forum and Governor of Ebonyi State, David Umahi, the host, Governor of Enugu State, Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, the Abia State counterpart, Okezie Ikpeazu, and Deputy Governor of Imo State, Gerald Ironna. Other Igbo leaders, including the President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo, Chief Nnianwodo, were also in attendance. About to brief the waiting journalists at the end of the meeting, the chairman of the forum, David Umahi, summarized the outcome of the meeting.
We resolved that we are going to see Mr. President for the welfare of our people Southeast. That is what we resolved. When we come back, we'll give you the context of our meeting with Mr. President.
Governor Ugwuanyi used the opportunity to showcase to the guests the security vehicles being installed with necessary communication and security gadgets procured by the state government to aid security agencies in the combat of crimes in the state. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
Legal battle over who represents Katagum Federal Constituency of Bauchi State has been put to rest by the Jos Division of the Court of Appeal. Adamu Haruna Adams reports that the appellate court reversed the decision of the National State Assembly Election Petition Tribunal for Bauchi State.
The Jos Division of the Appellate Court set aside judgment of the National State Assembly Election Petition Tribunal for Bauchi State, which ordered INEC to withdraw a certificate of return from Umar Abdul Qadir Seriki of People's Redemption Party, PRP, conduct a rerun election in 7 polling units within 90 days from the 29th day of August 2019 when the judgment of the trial tribunal was delivered. The tribunal also held that when those conditions were fulfilled, INEC could go ahead, declare and return a winner of the 23rd February 2019 House of Representatives election into Katagum Federal Constituency of Bauchi State. However, the panel of judges of the Court of Appeal, Jos, led by Justice Bulukromo Moses Ugo, in its wisdom, declared the judgment of the lower tribunal null and void, and in consequence upheld the election victory of Umar Seriki of PRP.
I thank God and I'm very happy, and I also thank the Nigerian judiciary for affirming my victory. That shows that Nigerian judiciary is the last hope of a common man.
A cross appeal filed by the respondents Ibrahim Muhammad Baba and the All Progressives Congress APC was also dismissed by the panel for lack of merit. In Bauchi, Adamu Haruna Adams, NTA News.
The House of Representatives Committee on Healthcare Services and Committee on Health Institutions are optimistic that ongoing efforts to improve healthcare delivery in Nigeria would have the desired impact on the nation's health system. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that the two committees at their inaugural meeting stressed that institutions should be strengthened to attain global best practices.
The two committees saddled with the responsibility of oversight in health institutions and agencies at their separate meetings noted the challenges faced in the health sector.
Be bringing out very good ideas that will help to uplift these institutions.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, according to the Health Services Committee, is yet to reach global benchmark, especially as it relates to vaccine production.
Even if we have the capacity, resources and finances to produce local vaccine, so as to improve acceptability of vaccine by Nigerians, because of the level of NAFDAC and global benchmark now, we cannot be given the license to produce a local vaccine.
The federal government was commended at the meeting for its commitment to the welfare of health workers. Parliament, the committee added, will continue to intervene whenever necessary to ensure stability in the sector. Meanwhile, the House Committee on Public Procurement says due process should be adhered to by all government establishments to ensure sanity.
Our job is to ensure that taxpayers' money is well spent, and government must guarantee to provide good quality, transparent services at a fair price.
Enforcement of laws is vital for accountability in public procurement. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Nigeria is said to be not only endowed with human resources but also natural resources, food inclusive. Converting these edibles to sumptuous meals is a talent that some women often display in their homes on various occasions. The National Council Women Societies marked the second National Unity Food Fair in Abuja to showcase their talent and harness them for national development. Linda Okorie-Igwe reports.
This variety of food on display on the World Food Day is Nigerian women's way of marking October 15 every year. It is called the Unity Food Fair, powered by the National Council of Women's Societies. President of the Council, Laraba Gloria Shanda, says it is a way of contributing to the promotion of worldwide awareness on eradicating hunger. It is also to complement the federal government's food sufficiency and security.
Women are the key grassroots people in agriculture, at least small-scale farming. We want women to be aware. We know that government have a lot of interventions on agriculture. We have programs like this because we are supporting government and we are trying to do our best to augment what government is doing.
Vice Chairman, National Food Security Council, Abubakar Atuku Bagudu, says the food fair as an annual rallying point for all stakeholders to take stock of where Nigeria is and what the country has achieved as a nation towards food security.
Across the 36 states of Nigeria, you have hard-working women and indeed men. So President Muhammadu Buhari's message is that they will continue to support them so that they will get more reward for their effort, more value for what they produce or they process, so that they can take care of their families, be richer, be more included.
The focus this year on subsistence to mechanization at the grassroots featured states and private sector. In Abuja, Linda Okorie-Igwe, NTN News.
The growing concerns and discourse on climate change is necessitating the global community to opt for eco-friendly shelter powered by clean energy. Nigerian government is also thinking along this as the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola, unveils prefabricated assembly and installation building facility in Abuja. Correspondent reports that the innovation is expected to address the housing deficit in Nigeria. This building is made from 12 shipping containers and it can be dismantled and taken to another location. That wouldn't have been possible if it were made of block. It is also said to be a green facility and totally off-grid. What that means to a layman is having electricity in his house without being connected to the national grid. The Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, calls it a revolutionary innovation in both sectors and says the federal government will support it.
It's innovation that brings investment into Nigeria. It's innovation that brings a business and employs people. And therefore, it is something that the government clearly would recommend as part of its business expansion, economic opportunities drive.
But then, how affordable is it?
You see, this is the only thing Nigerians ask about, cost. But they end up paying cheap for block and spend more to finish it before they can even move into their houses. But I can guarantee you our costs are very affordable.
Beyond affordability, there is the challenge of persuading end users to change the status quo and adopt a new technology that experts say is the future. Joseph Johnson, NTN News. Well, do stay with us here on NTN Nationwide. We're back shortly.
An award that has succeeded to cool a galaxy of stars from the north, south, east to the west, and central Africa, and also those that are domiciled beyond the shores of Africa under one roof.
To the glory of God, we celebrate the life of our beloved matriarch, mother, grandmother, sister, auntie, and wife, Madam Evumena Rosaline Efeludu, aged 84 years. Burial arrangement. Thursday, 17th October 2019. Service of songs. Time, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. at St. Andrew's Anglican Church, 22 Okere Road, Warri, Delta State. Friday, 18th October. Commendation service at St. Andrew's Anglican Church. Time, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Interment at a residence in Odo Zeho Town before Delta Glass Company. Time, 12 noon. In-laws visit at a residence. Time, 12 noon to 1 p.m. Guest entertainment at Odo Zeho Town Primary School Field. Time, 1 p.m. Sunday, 20th October 2019. Outing service at St. Andrew's Anglican Church, Okere Road, Warri, Delta State. Time, 9 a.m. RSVP, Pastor Ray Efe Yugbovre, 0802-302-3729. Family announcer.
Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Senator George Akume, says the federal government will leverage on the technology and expertise of some European nations to create job opportunities for Nigerians, especially in agriculture. The minister stated this when he received the Polish and Slovakian ambassadors to Nigeria in Abuja. Military Igben reports.
One of the core mandates of the Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs is to coordinate strategies and explore opportunities for creating jobs for millions of Nigerians, especially the youth, who make up the bulk of the population. These form the basis of ongoing consultations between the ministry and some envoys to explore areas of mutual benefits and cooperation.
When you look at this huge country with a population of over 200 million people, and that is why government is diversifying. You know, there is so much we can learn from you in the area of agriculture.
The ambassadors of Poland and Slovakia said their governments are ready to expand bilateral ties with Nigeria.
The specific areas that we would like to cooperate with Nigeria are the defense sector, agriculture, education, innovative technologies, including ones that contribute to the protection of the environment.
The concept of European Union to help to create new jobs in Nigeria. And this is the philosophy of European Union towards African country.
In particular, Nigeria hopes to domesticate the expertise of Poland in the manufacturing of tractors to boost mechanized farming in the country. In Abuja, Military Igben, NTA News.
On sports now, Nigerian athletes win at maiden games in Doha. Over to Amanzi Marcus with details on Sports Update.
Nigeria will no longer compete in more than 10 sports in the Olympics, as it has been the case over the years, as only about 8 sports federations will be at the biggest multi-sports fiesta in the world in Tokyo 2020. Minister of Youth and Sports Development Sunday Dare disclosed this to sports federation presidents, technical directors and secretaries on Tuesday in Abuja as part of plans to ensure Nigeria wins medals at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics in Japan.
We have limited resources. We'll be guided by data, statistics, and facts. Nigeria should always leverage and identify either 5 or 6 or 7 sports in which we have a clear competitive edge.
Nigerian wrestler Blessing Onyebuchi carved a memorable outing